All right, here are 30 new iOS 27 features in under 15 minutes. First, you can create custom wallet passes now. So when you tap the plus icon up here, you can go to create a pass, and then if you have Siri AI on your device, you can do it with AI, or you can create a pass manually. You can choose what it is, like a membership. Then when you need to add the QR code, you can just tap there, scan it with your phone, add all the other information, and save it to your wallet. Next, you can now swipe away the now playing activity on the lock screen. So here I'm now playing a podcast, Primary Technology. If I swipe down, you see the now playing. I can just swipe right to left and it's gone, but the podcast is still playing. So I can always go back in and pause it. Next, this is across all the Apple devices, but you can create extensions right here in Safari. These are like vibe coding extensions. So here, I'll tap the little extension area down there by the address bar, and then I can do describe extension. There's going to be some customized ones. You can do develop and design, highlight and show the dimensions of web page elements when I tap them. Let's create this custom extension. It'll show you App Store results first, but if there's no apps like it, I can just tap create. You can see it up here creating the extension. Now that it's here, I can tap try it. You can see the extensions running in the background. I can tap an element, and then I can get the pixel count right here. And in addition to making your own extensions, there's now a notify me feature. So maybe I want to know when this product is back in stock, like the unified travel router. I can ask Safari to remind me, and this should work even if you force close Safari, and you can do this across all your Apple devices as well. Tap the blue check, and now I'll be notified when it gets back in stock. And you can always go to the Settings app, go to Safari, and then if you scroll all the way down, you can see all the web pages that you have your iPhone notifying you about right here. Next, there's a new extra large widget option. So not only do you have the small and medium and large, but you can fill the screen. This works for calendar, music, weather, photos, and more. So I can go over here to the photos, scroll all the way to the right, and we have a massive new featured photos widget. Next, several new features are coming to Apple Podcasts and iOS 27. Not only is there going to be a redesigned app for tvOS and Apple Video Podcasts on a Mac, but now video podcasts have chapters back in iOS 27, so Primary Technology. Also, that's my weekly show. We're recording in Apple Podcast Studios this week. Scan the QR code. But chapters are back, and follow-along transcripts are back for video shows. And get subscribed. I'm going to be covering the new tvOS features, iPad, Mac, and more very soon. Next, if we go to the Photos app, you can now save still images from the photo. So if we go in here to the editor, go to a frame you want to save, tap the three dots, and then you can save this video frame as a separate photo. And you can also generate captions for videos that you've taken right here. You can turn captions on or off, and you can even go into the style settings. There's classic, large text, and you can even manage styles for captions right here, including creating a new style of caption that will go on your videos. You can choose all the different fonts, colors, and more. Next, a couple of features for text messages. One, if you're going to send a large image or video, you won't have to wait for that to finish to send to keep sending more text messages. So even though that video is trying to send, I can still send further text messages and video, and you'll see there's a little progress bar for as that video is being sent, but the message that I wanted to go through is already sent. It doesn't have to wait for the video. And messages will keep trying to send a text message. Even if it doesn't go through at first, you can go away from the Messages app. You don't have to manually type, try again. It'll do it automatically. Now, before we get to the wild photo cleanup, extend, and change the perspective features, you might have noticed the Moth tripod wallet. My friend Andrew, great YouTuber, he got an image of it. They actually sponsored this video. So I'm going to teleport back to my home studio to tell you about that. Before, when I would travel, I would try to put an AirTag in a wallet, and you don't have to do that anymore. The Moth MagSafe Tripod Wallet now has built-in Find My. The Moth Trackable Tripod Wallet holds up to 2 cards, has built-in Find My, and it even has a secret camera button. So when you're filming in the field, like I've been doing this week, you can do it all with the tripod wallet. First, all these features are packed into a super slim wallet, which, side note, it comes in multiple colors, but I really kind of love the orange and blue. And the tripod wallet connects directly to the Find My app on your iPhone. You can even ping it to make a sound, and it plays a 70 decibel alert. Very easy to hear, impressive sound for such a thin wallet, and it has continuous location tracking, not just logging the last time it was detached like Apple's MagSafe wallet. Not only does the battery last up to 6 months, but it's wirelessly rechargeable. You can just put it on a MagSafe battery or on any wireless Qi charger, and you're ready to go. And there's even a hidden button that you can use to take pictures and video with your iPhone. It connects via Bluetooth, and it is perfect when you put the tripod wallet in vlogging mode. It elevates the phone, makes it easy to hold for longer periods of time, and then you can start and stop recording by clicking that hidden button in the Moth wallet. But it's also great if you just want to watch something on your phone. Putting it into floating mode, it elevates your iPhone. You can put it in landscape or portrait orientation, and then watch a video podcast on your lunch break, YouTube video, or read an article in portrait. You can also put the tripod wallet in stand mode, perfect for scrolling or putting your iPhone in standby mode. And it's been perfect for showing off iOS 27 in this video. The wallet fits 2 cards, so it's perfect for a credit card and driver's license. And the new tripod wallet also works great as a grip for your phone. So get the MOF trackable tripod wallet. You can scan this QR code or click the link down in the video description. It's great as a wallet, built-in Find My, wirelessly rechargeable, and if you make any kind of content or filming with your iPhone, it's a must-have. And I'm gonna go keep using it in this video for iOS 27, but my thanks to MOF for sponsoring this video. All right, now let's look at the wild photo tools like reframing. Now when you go to use the new photo cleanup tools, if you tap the tools icon down here in the bottom right, go to cleanup, and you now have the option to either use auto, which will choose whichever model, or you can do fast for quick touch-ups, that's a local model, or high quality will send the image out to private cloud compute. I'll choose fast right here. Let's tap this subject and see how it does with the local model, and does pretty well. I'll take this photo. I got to meet Bridget Carey here at WWDC. I'll go into the editor, and here at the bottom right, you'll see the new tools. Even cooler is the extend tool. When you tap that, you can actually zoom out and even pinch and frame the photo however you want. Once you got it how you like, just tap extend. It's going to process it for a moment. The extend and reframe is also using a private cloud compute model, just so you know. The cleanup feature can use on-device or cloud. Of course, I can always revert back to the original, but let's also look at reframing an image. I also got to meet Canupsi while I've been out here at WWDC, and this time let's change the perspective. So I'll go back to the tools, tap reframe, and now, after it prepares kind of a spatial scene, and actually drag around to reposition him in the frame. Now I'm going to put him over a little bit because I want to see what it does with this plant in the background. I'll tap reframe. Looks like we're in the back rooms here. And there we go. We changed the perspective. That tree behind him actually generated pretty nicely. Even his eyes, his face, everything looks good. And now you can do that with any photo here in iOS 27. Also here in the Photos app, there's a new collection. So if we go back, go to the collections, and if we scroll all the way to the bottom under utilities, there's a new captured by me. And this is going to show you just the photos that you've taken. So it won't have screenshots, maybe photos that were sent to you. These are just the ones you've taken with your devices. Side note, Apple will also consolidate notifications for multiple tapbacks in messages, and you'll be able to set a different alarm volume from your ringtone volume. And we can go over to the settings app. I'm going to scroll down till we get to sounds and haptics. And here you'll see the ringtone volume, which was usually the alarm volume, but I can untoggle the match ringtone volume and set a different volume specifically for alarms right here. Next, the Find My app has been really improved. First, on Apple Watch, the Find People and Find Items is going to be combined, so that's going to be a better experience. But when you're looking at your people or devices, now you can go to a person, just tap them, and now it's going to expand down here rather than having to slide up this entire card, and you'll quickly get directions to that person's location, or you can tap the three dots and you'll see all the information about their location. You can also go over to Devices, tap a device, quickly play the sound here, or tap the three dots to see all the information. There's also going to be better options for sharing your location with other people. So now if I want to share my location, like with my friend Andrew, I can now choose exactly when sharing my location will end. So I can do Thursday at noon, and then I can start sharing my location, and it won't just have to be for a day, 24 hours, or longer. You can specify exactly how long to share it. Next, there's actually FaceTime dual capture on the latest iPhone. So I'm going to start a FaceTime here with my friend Andrew. Let's accept it. Hey, what's up? So you can see I have Andrew's both front-facing and rear camera right there. That's pretty wild. Next, we have some great features in the Home app. Now, I haven't had to update my Apple TV or HomePod at all, but if I go to one of my HomeKit cameras like this one, there's a new interface for viewing the recordings down here, so I can go back and forth. You see there's a little play button here, motion was detected, but I can also go back and see different clips. And in the bottom right corner, there's now a new filter, so I can see just packages, just people, animals, or vehicles. So just looking at packages, I could see a delivery that was happening last night. And what's even better, searching through the clips is now powered by AI. So I can tap the magnifying glass, I can search for something like package here and see all the different clips that might have a package included, or just use natural language. I can even search for people, like my son Asher, it'll show me clips of him. It's gonna be way easier to search for those recordings here in the Home app, and the Home app now supports 4K cameras with HomeKit Secure Video. Also, there's gonna be faster pairing for HomeKit devices in the Home app. Unfortunately, I've not seen any new home automation actions here, but get subscribed. We'll look through the betas over the summer and see if any appear. Next, Image Playground has gotten a lot better. It's using the Gemini and Apple Foundation models together, and you can even do things like generate wallpapers. So I'll create something new here in Image Playgrounds. I can tap this aspect ratio button, and you'll see wallpaper is now an option. Now I can describe something like generated an image of a mountain, I can describe a change, and then I can just tap set wallpaper up here. It's gonna give me the preview on my lock screen, and I can add it. I've generated a few of them, like this waterfall, pretty great. And you can even do non-photographic style wallpapers. Generate a gradient style wallpaper with up to 3 colors. And just like that, I now have a gradient style wallpaper. I can set the wallpaper here, and there we have it. Now I'm still on the waitlist for Siri AI, but that video is going to be coming soon. I did get some hands-on time with it, so there will be a video about it later this week. I also did a shortcuts video, I'll link it above, but when it comes to new features, there are a ton of them there. So let's go to the shortcuts app. Create a new shortcut. You also see this interface is different. The plus icon's not up here. We got a new shortcut button down here. The big thing is here, you can prompt to just have a shortcut created for you. I demoed this in my video. You could check that out. But let's look at some of the new actions. First, the Create Apple Notes action. There's now a very welcome addition here. If you expand it, you can interpret whatever you're putting in the note as Markdown. So you don't have to convert it to rich text first or just do something weird there. You can interpret as Markdown right here. Oh, and a new shortcuts action I missed in my full shortcuts video. There is now an else if action. So let's say I add an if statement, and we could do something like current device. Let's go with device type, and is a Mac. You have the normal otherwise here, but if I tap on that if action, you'll see an add otherwise if. So now I can have, rather than multiple nested if statements, I can add that otherwise if and another condition, or the otherwise. And I can even tap that again and add another otherwise if condition. Pretty wild. And automations are working a little different now in the new Shortcuts app. First of all, they're going to live here with the share sheet and Apple Watch actions, and the gallery has been moved here as well. And the automations will still list all your shortcuts with automations, but you create one just by creating a new blank shortcut like you would any other, and you'll see the new automation button here. Then you have all the custom automations like time of day, alarm, sleep, and this will now be considered an automation that runs every day at 10 a.m. And what's nice is you'll be able to share these automations like normal shortcuts. But there's some new automation triggers which are very welcome. One, when a keyboard is connected. This would be great for something like iPad if you want to enable Stage Manager or split view apps when a keyboard is connected. You could do that here. When a screenshot is saved, and then you can do a ton of stuff with this. I'll add a use models action real quick just to kind of show you. I'll say describe the screenshot. Let me add a show content. And now if I just take a screenshot with my iPhone, this shortcut is going to run behind the scenes because it has an automation trigger. You can decide if it's photos, files, and more. And there's the use models action telling me what this screenshot is about. Really welcome automation. Get subscribed. We're going to be making a ton of fun ones here. And an automation trigger that lots of people have been asking for a long time, a notification. So for instance, I can say when I get a notification from the Instacart app, and you can even go so far as to filter. So the title, subtitle, or message. So maybe I want when the message of my Instacart notification contains arriving, I can do something like intercom my entire house and send a message through my HomePods, flash my lights in my smart home, or whatever else you'd like. We're going to build lots of fun shortcuts with this automation in the community. Link to join, 50% off, just for Dub Week is down in the description. Now, one thing that is missing from the automation, I don't see the Apple Watch workout automations anymore. So that's a shame if that's gone in iOS 27, but stay tuned. I'll cover if it comes back. And a huge one here, storage actions. You can now store content directly in Shortcuts and even make it global so it's available across your devices. I can turn on global value there, and then you can also tap the eye icon here at the bottom, go to storage, and you can store things like API keys, information like a clipboard in a list. I built some of these and even have a link to download that clipboard manager with this new action in my Shortcuts video. Remember, that link is below. And the use model action has gotten more powerful. Not only can you ask it world knowledge right here in Shortcuts, but there's also a new Cloud and Cloud Pro. So if you want to use increased reasoning here in a shortcut, you can choose that. I'm curious if that's going to be able to handle more text. We're going to be testing. And also on device or ChatGPT. No Claude or Gemini options built into iOS 27, but I'm curious how well that Cloud Pro action will do. But get subscribed. I'm going to be going over macOS, iPadOS. I have my Shortcuts video up. And if you just want to hear all the major announcements from WWDC, you can check out my recap video right here. And this QR code is that deal for my Shortcuts community membership. 50% off for an entire year if you join right now during Dub Week. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.